What's up, everybody? It's your boy C. Sam's, and this is That Comic Show. Today we're going to take a look at something that has been plaguing a lot of us for quite some time. The Marvel Universe on Fox is so convoluted, it's so messed up. So guess what we're going to do today? We are going to actually go through and break down and actually figure out what is the correct timeline for the X-Men universe.
McAvoy or Stewart? These timelines are so confusing.
X-Men started in 2000. The movie is set in the year 2000. X-Men 2 is set at the year 2003. After the events of 2000, we see that things start to trickle down in 2003. As 2006 rolls around, X-Men 3 The Last Stand comes out. And that is when everything kind of goes kaput. Everybody's dead. All the important characters are dead. Within 6 years, the important characters are dead, and that is X-Men 3 The Last Stand. Now that we're actually in 2006, we're actually going to jump ahead and go to Wolverine. Now, once we go into Wolverine, we're actually going to take a look at 2010, or the year is set in 2013 for Wolverine. These are the events that led after X-Men The Last Stand. Wolverine kills Jean Grey, and he is living as a hobo somewhere in the mountains. This is 7 years later. And he ends up finding a man in Japan who wants to switch with him and all types of stuff. But the next thing that we're going to actually take a look at, and we're going to go even further back, is going to be Wolverine Origin. Wolverine Origin actually takes place in 1845. 1845 is when a young James Howlett, or Logan, is actually present. Back in 1845, we see a bunch of events that lead us to 1979. 1979 is when the Wolverine storyline begins, and this is when everything kind of takes place in 1979. Now we're going to leap forward a little bit, and we're going to go to X-Men First Class. Well, technically we're actually going to go backwards. X-Men First Class is 1963. We see the First Class come together to stop Sebastian Shaw. Sebastian Shaw is who they tried to stop. Now this is 1963. We jump ahead to 1973. 1973 is Days of Future Past. Logan is sent in the past of 1973, while this movie actually takes place in 2023, which means after 10 years of the Wolverine movie, we are in the future. And this is where Logan is sent back in time to his younger self in 1973 to stop the events of which Mystique is actually going to kill Oliver Trask. And they changed that, and by changing that, they actually changed the timeline. So everything that we remember from the first X-Men movies have been wiped away. Everything that we remember from Wolverine's origin have been wiped away. Everything that we saw in the Wolverine has been wiped away as well, and we're starting on a brand new slate. Even the events of First Class have been wiped away. We're starting on a brand new slate in 1973. Now in 1983, Apocalypse comes away. He is awakened from his slumber, and he tries to destroy the entire world. Now all this is happening, and they end up defeating Apocalypse, which leads us into the same timeline that we're currently in. Now we take a look at Deadpool. Now Deadpool is actually the exception. Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2 seems to be happening outside of the time-space continuum within this universe. We really don't hear a mention of the year it is or the time. And every time Deadpool refers to Professor Xavier, he refers to the two actors who played Professor Xavier, which is McAvoy or Stewart. He refers to those two characters, those two actors who play the same character. So he is outside of that time realm. So Deadpool is literally outside the time realm of 1995 all the way to 2010. Wait a minute. In Wolverine, it was 1979 where he first meets Deadpool, or Wade Wilson. He's an active mercenary. Could it be that the events of Deadpool was actually a little bit after 1979? Maybe in the 80s? You know what? No, because there was cell phones. Never mind. Come to think of it, Cyclops was in that movie too. And he was a teenager in high school in 1979, and then we see Cyclops again in 1983 as a sophomore. He's been a sophomore for 4 years? Never mind. Now, the next movie that we're going to take a look at, and the last movie on our list, is Logan. Logan takes place in 2029. This is the furthest event of any movie in the Fox universe. This is an event where everyone is dead. All of the characters came back to life are now dead. And the only thing that is left is Logan. Logan is actually there with Professor X. And because of the fact that him and Logan are the last ones there, That's it for the X-Men. These are the timelines. We're going to go through it real quick one more time. X-Men was in 2000. X-Men United was in 2003. X-Men 3, The Last Stand, was in 2006. Jumping backwards in time, we go to Wolverine Origin, which was 1979. We jump a little bit backwards even more, and we go to X-Men The First Class, which is 1963. We look at Days of Future Past, which was 1973. Jump into 2023, then jumping back to 1973. Then we have Apocalypse Now, which is here in 1983. Now we get to Deadpool and Deadpool 2. These two are outside of the space-time continuum in this universe. We jump over to the Wolverine, which takes place in 2013, part of the old storyline. Then we finish things off with Logan, which was 2029. And this is the last movie in the slate of movies that we have so far. We have a few movies that they're talking about bringing. We're looking at a Phoenix movie, and we're also going to be looking at the New Mutants. So we have a lot of things to look forward to when it comes to this universe. So I hope this breakdown actually helps you figure out where on earth is everything in the timeline. To be quite honest with you, this universe don't really stay very true to the continuity, but this is something that we can actually latch on to and figure out. Once again, this is your boy Sam's. This is That Comic Show. Sam's out.